Hi, everyone. Welcome to Members Village Insights webinar, Learn Pages and Blocks Customization with Website Builder app. We're just waiting for a few more registered guests. Today, just want to give you a note that we are recording this session so that you guys can refer to this webinar for the future. And we've got some resources for you. So really just sit back, listen, and we'll have a Q&A at the end, and we will make sure you get all of the materials sent to your inbox, and you'll have access to what we show you today. If you prefer, you can leave your cameras off or on. This is in a meeting environment. We don't have it as a webinar. And hopefully, as you guys continue to join us each month, we will have a sort of a peer group that can share best practices on what we're doing with the website. All right. Remy, if you can just confirm everybody is here that had registered, that would be great. And we do want to, we we do appreciate those who didn't have the calendar invite and reached out, and I was able to send you a calendar invite. And please let me know if there's anyone else that needs that. All right, let's begin. So today we're here to learn about how to create a website that works for you. We launched the blocks and pages functionality back in the fall of 2024. Remy and I have been actively using it. A lot of our time has been actually bringing our own website up to the new platform. And so what we're demonstrating for you here is actually on our live site today. It's your website is more than your online presence. It's a tool that drives engagement, growth, and success. And whether you're a small business owner or an association leader, we want you to be able to maximize your time and spend less time worrying about what the costs are for updating your website and focus on the content. So this lets you see real world customization examples. We're going to demonstrate how to customize pages and blocks effortlessly. We're going to provide you with practical takeaways to enhance your website immediately, and we're going to help you make your digital presence become your competitive advantage. So first and foremost, I really want to thank you for joining us and for supporting Members Village. We do appreciate what you guys are doing. And in this upcoming year, we want to help you market and get your messaging out more efficiently and more aesthetically on brand. So before as we start, I just wanted to let you talk about Ignite Web Solutions. That is the um, organization that owns Members Village and runs the platform. Members Village is focused on associations, whereas Ignite Web Solutions caters to our small business segment. We're here to learn, listen, and grow together, and we hope that you can take away from this. And we know that we're not perfect and we know that we've got room to grow. So as you start using the tools and the um, features, let us know what you think. We know that media sizes are an issue. We know some of the padding needs to be adjusted, but as your host, I want you to know that we look at those trackers, we look at your emails, and we try to incorporate them. And we take our expertise and we want to make sure this is um, a platform that works for you and for your membership or your clients. So before we begin, I just wanted to get a sense of everybody here. Remy is going to enable the poll, and we just want to get an idea for who's in the room. What's your website experience? I see that we've got our CALP members with us. We've got our designer in-house. We've got, I think we've got Capra, I think you're there, and I think we've got one of our small businesses, Vivify Me. So make sure you guys are also checking out. So the poll should be enabled. We're going to give you about a minute or two to just answer, and then we can share the results. Perfect. Well, we've got a 50% love using it, and 38 have already tried it recently, and we've got a few that haven't tried it yet. So we've got a good sense, and for those who are loving using it, you guys are going to get some added tips and tricks, and I've got some media sizes that'll help in what I did to set up these pages today. Just to give you sort of a idea, I did all of these pages in the last 2 days, what you're going to see today. So it'll give you a sense of the amount of effort it takes to do it or the lack of effort because it's a lot of copying and pasting once you've got your content. Okay, so there are your results. And thank you for participating. Next, let's drive back to what a strong website means for you. It's audience engagement, which means return visits, which means returned customers. And that's what's going to keep all of us here and sustainable. So we want to make sure that we're able to do that. So if everybody is ready to get started, please do not hesitate to use the chat, use emoticons to let me know. Remy is going to be watching the chat, so stop me at any time and I'll make sure that we capture all of your questions or answer or get you the resources you need. So with that, let's get started with building a page. So what we've done here is created this visual guide for you, which will be emailed as soon as this meeting is over, so that you have tips to or access to all of the functionality and descriptions. And with each of these, we've given pro tips along the way. And we want to make sure you see how we're using the website so that it gives you new ideas on how to use yours. And then part of this demo is, I'll just switch over, is we're actually going to go look at the back end and see what some of the features that you don't see on the live site that are enabled on the back end. All right, so we'll go with the introduction. What are pages and blocks? Pages is the foundation of your website structure, whereas blocks are the components that go in, and blocks can either be media and text, or it can also be apps and functionality. From a real-world applications for pages and blocks, each of these pages are linked to our own, but you can have event pages, service or product pages, blog and article pages, and sign-up pages. All of what I'm teaching you today are going to be able to be used on each of these types of pages. So to begin with, we have a good page layout balances usability, aesthetics, and functionality while ensuring the content is engaging and easy to navigate. What we hope to do by the end of the year is give you more time to focus on developing the content, selecting appropriate media, and really serving and understanding your clients so that your messaging resonates. And we're hoping that the technology, as we start putting in these templates, becomes quicker and quicker for you to use and communicate to your clients. To give you all a solid foundation, what we've done is put some best practices in place on how to set up a page. And you guys can have time to review this more thoroughly, but this is just for any page, whether you're using WordPress, if you're doing broadcast. These are just some highlights on things that you should consider when you're putting the content together. So you want to make sure there's clarity in your structure and hierarchy. That's the headings, that's the information, what needs to be above the screen scroll, like the first 3 blocks versus the end. And then you want to make sure it's scammable. With the emergence of social media, we know that people's attention span is shorter and shorter, and they just want the highlights. So use bullet points, short paragraphs, and bold key phrases, and break up in different blocks. You want to make sure you're consistent with your branding. So you want to make sure your colors are always there and you're using it as often as you can. You want to make sure there's white space. We do make sure that there's a lot of padding. You want to make sure the font size is readable and that the style that you choose is also easy to scan when it's big blocks of text. Of course, with Members Village platform, we've got the intuitive navigation. You're going to have call to actions. We have a flow that you can see here with drop downs. And breadcrumb navigation is when you are putting in the submenus, it needs to make logical sense. So you'll see here, we've got Members Village, Town Crier, and then how to build engaging pages with websites. So it's easier for searchability as well as for the user to follow. Of course, you guys are the experts in developing the engaging and relevant content. Make sure it's concise, it's optimized for SEO, and you've got a good selection of visuals that will help communicate, because we know that a picture speaks 1,000 words. When you're using our platform, we've already built in the mobile responsiveness. Make sure that it is for all devices. We go from desktop to mobile, and you want to make sure that the clickable elements are large enough. I know that hyperlinks are there, but buttons are best. You want to keep your image size small. So JPEG, WebPage, or PNG are best formats. That helps with the speed. And then you want to make sure you minimize plugins and scripts, because that also slows down your website. Accessibility and client compliance. If you are based in Ontario, you do need to adhere to AODA and make sure that it is accessible for the hearing and visually impaired. For visually impaired, you want to make sure that you're always putting image descriptions, and that now with voice prompting and voice search, you want to make sure that that text description is there, so that those search prompts are also reading what the image is. And it tells a better story for your visitor. High contrast is key as well, especially for those with poor eyesight, or like myself. I'm getting a little bit older. I can't read stuff. So high contrast is best. So black and white is optimal, but red on white, too much of it becomes harder and harder for the reader. And then keyboard navigatability. Uh, it just needs to make sure that they can move without a mouse, especially on tablets and on the mobile phone. Last but not least, strong call to actions and next steps. You want to make sure you're always leading the user. We try to follow the 3-click principle, that they find the information they need and then they're taking action. And we're also giving multiple entry points. So you'll see that as we go through the pages. So let's begin with creating and managing pages. What I'll do is I'll keep flipping back, but this blog will also have screenshots for you to follow along. This image for you guys, if you want to know, this is not a video, it's actually a GIF, which is without sound, and you can add these little bit of animations with the website. So if you are in the admin portal on Members Village, you go to the content bar, which is here, and then you select pages. Then you will be asked to name the title of your page, which is right here, and you can select between page, menu item, or a link. And then this block here lets you search by page text, or sorry, page title text. And then this would be your navigation here, and you can drag and drop to complete the order. And this also helps you toggle what is live on the site. And to the right here, you will see where any of your draft pages will are. And that is only visible to you as the user. So here is a summary of what I just went through. And for those who are familiar with the page options, let's go to that next. Okay, so before we go on to page options, do I have any questions? And am I speaking too fast? Okay, looks good. All right, so how do we simplify, customize, and optimize? Using page options lets you manage titles, banners, visibility, and more for a professional and optimized website. Features include managing titles and banners, adjusting page visibility settings, applying templates for consistent layouts, and then adding metadata for improved SEO. Why does it matter? It's making it easier for you to administer. It centralizes everything for consistency, and it helps with your page ranking in search engines. So for page options, we are going to go into this section here. And if I flip over to the edit, it's this tab right here. All right. So this option here for titles, this is already going to be pre-populated when you create a new page, or if you are copying a page, it will say copy. And so you want to make sure you start here always when you create a page and you update this. And as a best practice, I always hit save as draft as I complete each block or each section in case your power goes out or if your computer glitches. Okay, so here use concise keyword rich title for better SEO for the page title. Then the next block here will be the banner block. We are reconfiguring this year, so any feedback you provide us, we will make sure that we incorporate. But for now, I'm using it as the tile image as well as for social media share. So that is what will show up when you share links to websites. And you want to make sure that that image is a horizontal block. And I'll further down, I'll give you some sizes. Then the next item on the menu is visibility. This is where you can adjust it to see who's public or members only. And this also lets you schedule the page. For templates, if this is for the page, you will most likely have full width with outside menu and full width with side menu. And then we've got a client portal page and a client welcome page for us. So depending on what you have set up on for page and your styling, your template pages will be available in this bucket. Next will be the menu, and there's a toggle for you to make it appear or not appear, and it tells you you can make it a sub page of another page. So you high traffic pages, you want to be having them at the top and then the sub page under. Then you can also link, you can customize it, or we can auto generate it if you leave it blank. And the next after that would be the keywords. So you want to have 3 to 5 keywords that are relevant to what's on the page. You want to ensure that that's also being pulled from the body copy that's on the page. And then you want to include target keywords that naturally in the meta description. So try to do it, I think it's about 60 words that you can put in the description box. And that's what appears when you share. Okay. Then let's move on to the blocks tab. What is blocks options? Well, it's the block that lets you do the call to action, text media, apps, your basic editor, or any custom styling you may have. And you can also add favorite blocks so that if you have a stylized headline block, save it as a favorite, and then you can just insert it no matter what page, and then you don't have to redesign it. Makes it accessible, and it makes it a lot more efficient for you as you lay out these pages. So this is what the menu looks like. So for call to actions, it's buttons or sections. We've got already templates, much like as if you have PowerPoint or Canva, so that you can just um, pick and choose and copy and paste your text. Then you've got text and media styles to choose from, only media, and that includes YouTube and GIFs, as well as just text blocks. We are going to make a more robust selection as we start to do more and more page layouts. This block here is for the apps, which is formerly modules. So that's where you can insert forms, blog pages, podcasts, and we will go through that on the live or the back end of the live site. Here is the section for basic editor and custom. And then this one is for favorites. And then as promised, media size for reference. And we will update this as we grow. But for a full width page, it's 1900 pixels. Column width is about 1600. Edge to edge images is 1080 width. Contained images, large, medium, and icon. And then a cover image, 550 by 300. Okay. After that, we go to block settings. What are block settings? Well, the editor allows you to view favorites. Or it allows you to do the settings for formatting, for colors and background images. It enables you to duplicate the icon. It also says visibility. So you might have a common page, but you only want members or clients to see pricing. You can have a pricing block specific to members, and then public will not see that. And then you are able to also reorder or delete blocks here. So that really helps you tailor your design and improve your user experience. So here we've got the imagery of the favorites anchor. This one lets you to favorite the block. This here would let you anchor, and it is by page, and you will be able to choose anchors by page or view different articles or different links. This section here on the cog lets you choose the colors for overlay, headline, and for the text copy. These will be preset with your brand colors as shown in the color selection palette. And then this also lets you choose the image for the background. So you can see here, I've put some texture that would be done in that block cog section. And then on that same block, you'll also see a layouts tab, which is here. And this lets you change the image size. It lets you change um, the if it's full width or column. And it also helps you determine if your image is vertical, horizontal, or square. And that will toggle the way it appears on the website. And this is a little bit more detail. And then here, of course, self-explanatory, the duplicate, the visibility icon here lets you toggle between users. And then it also lets you publish that block for a certain period of time. So if you've got a campaign where you want people to sign up for a course, you can set that block to disappear once the registration has closed. Then if you want to reorder, much like our broadcast, once you click on the button, this screen appears, and then you are able to sort the blocks and then confirm. And then the trash bin icon. So now that I've completed the guide, let's go into the actual back end. And as you can see, that's what we've done for ours. Here for visibility, you can choose your groups, and this is access group, not the group privilege or group privilege. Here are the templates that you saw, menu, link, and meta, and then the sidebar. A few of the features that we've done here is after the meeting, we know that we have to update it with the video. So we've already stylized it and we've hidden it. So we've made it inactive. And also we've inserted using the apps. This is the actual articles app. And here, when we do the apps for article webinar, we can go into this more in detail, but you'll be able to choose if it's your news, your blogs, or your press releases. you can show featured items only, and then you can update what that call to action is on the bottom end. And so there's similar formatting, but this would be a configuration that only shows up for apps. And then I don't want to keep that, so I'll just delete that. And at publish. And saved. All right. That concludes the actual demo of what Pages' apps is about. What I'd like to do is really just engage and ask any questions or have any, if you want me to pull up your page and ask for any feedback, we can certainly do that, or we can schedule that offline. But we are now going to open the floor to the audience. Remy, can you? Does anyone have questions?
Hi, Glenda. I do have
Hi,
one
Ellen.
question.
Yes.
So I realized that my favorites panel has a ton of stuff in it.
Yeah.
And when I went to remove it or just remove some of the items, I got a little scared that they would delete like from the pages.
No, this is just so that you
Okay.
could add the blocks. So yeah, I come like I did the page options block here, right? So because I
hmm
didn't want I knew I was going to have it on 3 pages, and I sometimes only do it once in a while. Like if I'm only going to do it temporarily, then I'll just delete it. Like right now, I have a
Right.
checklist block because I know that is hard to recreate all the time. So here, when you
hmm
click on it, this option here then says copy this, and if I edit on one page, it will edit it on every page. So if
Right.
you want that block to only be on this page, you like the layout, it's a headline block, but you're going to change the headline, make sure
hmm
you select local, which is this one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that checklist box, and when you do add, it always shows up at the bottom, and then you'll have to reorganize. But like I said, see checklist, that way I can just go in, okay, I like this, change your text, but the formatting stays the same.
Okay. Yeah. So whether you choose to do it local or not, you can just delete it from the favorites panel and it'll be fine.
Yes,
Okay.
this is just to insert a new block of another instance of that same block.
Gotcha. Okay.
They're not, yeah. Unless you choose the option where you want it to link, then it won't impact any other block on a page.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so delete that. Tanis did bring up a question about media sizes. That is a known uh, question that we were working on. I did give some media sizes to begin with here because as a reference, uh, where did it go? Probably back one. Here we go. The media size for reference.
Thanks, Glenda. It's
No
Tanis from
worries.
CLN.
Yes.
I'm just wondering, like within the blocks themselves, like how to, like for example, we've been adding some photos, and all of a sudden they're like huge on the on the page. So I'm wondering, just within the blocks, like not the sizes for pixels, but like if you're wanting the picture bigger or smaller within a block, is there a way to do that?
So, okay, that's why I'll show you here on the back end. So
Okay.
this block right now
hmm
is set to 1080 by 1080. So that's a square block.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because I knew I had a lot of copy. And so if you're starting to notice your block has a lot of white space, the image then needs to be set to rectangle. And so that's, oh, sorry, this not on this block here. Let me show you. here. So rectangle, right? This image is set. I uploaded this image and it's already a square, and now I'm going to turn all of this, and you will see what happens to the format. Bless you.
Oh, sorry.
So here you can see now it's changed it back to a square.
Mhm.
And if I want it to be a rectangle, that's what it'll do. So you want to size it to nearly what you want it to look like for now, because this is a new functionality. And then hopefully we can size it. But that's how you would toggle between the sizes. As well, it would also let you toggle the shape and the border. And then if I put it to fill, it would fill that in that image container, but then it cuts my head off, right? So that, because it is a square, the original was a square, so it's just proportionally cropping it for that box container. So ideally
So
you
kind
want
of
it,
just play around with the different things on this page here until
yes.
it kind of looks right, basically.
Well, here, I'll give you an example. Like I have another image that wasn't sized to 150 by 150, which is what I recommended. And
Okay.
let's see, this image isn't, right? We know that it's bigger.
Okay.
You will see like what you can do. That's the background image, sorry. I meant to go in here and pick that image. Yeah, so you can see this image is overly big, and you'll see what it
Yeah.
does, right? Like it makes the circle automatically bigger. So it takes the consideration of the height of the image first, and then so if the height is over like 300 pixels, it will be high. So that's why I gave you those media recommendations until we can actually adjust those media sizes a little bit easier.
Okay.
Okay,
Perfect. Thank you so much.
right? And do we have any other questions? And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put links to Canva for that are already sized that you guys can copy to your own. What I was doing during this setup was I had the sizes already set up. I pasted it and then I'd exported it. And then what you can see here is when I uploaded it, I already had a folder with all of my images set here. And then it's just pick and choose. With Canva, I labeled each page so that when I exported it, it already had these descriptions. And that way, when you upload the image, like so, it already populates the media name. And then I take that and I put it as the image description as well. And then that one's a square, so I'll change it to a square. And because the image is a small, it comes out small. But it is a work in progress. We are tweaking of this. So um, next 6 months, you'll see a little bit more robust activity. But for now, this is what Pages and Blocks can do for you. And always make sure you're saving as a draft only lets you see it, publishing it, changing the visibility to your admin team lets you have people look at it on the front end to check the user experience here to make sure everything looks right, and then publish it for public is changing the visibility. If we don't have any other questions, I leave the floor open. I want to remind you that we do have blogs and articles and news releases coming up next month. Those contemplating doing a monthly newsletter, this would also be the mechanism to use. If any of you have a newsletter that you would like me to look at and make some recommendations, please let me know ahead of time, and I'll include it as part of the demo as well. If there are no other questions, I will be drawing the winner for the page makeover.
Landra, I had a question.
Yes.
It's Sue. I did put it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
But it's about text sizes.
Yes.
So can you share with me how to have the standardized text sizes? Because often when I look at the screen, they look different sizes, and I end up
Yes.
changing them size-wise on the little text bar.
Okay.
What's
So
the approach?
what's set here is we, as part of your brand template, is we've already preset headlines to default. So you'll see here, if I cut and paste this, right, and then I paste it back, you saw that my welcome to MV Insights went back to the templated font size. So we indicated for our style guide, we wanted the headline to always be 23 points. And because I wanted a little bit of a subhead, I just go and change the font to the 14 point, which is what I wanted. Okay. Now, the reason we do this is here's the desktop view. Here's your layout view or laptop. Then you go to tablet. It's still fine. But then from a portrait, it automatically becomes responsive and the font size changes proportionately for that screen size. So that's what we've done to make it easier. Does that answer your question, Sue?
So what you're saying is, so I want to know how much leeway I have to change the text size without creating a problem on any of these pages.
Well, you have the ability to change the font size to any of these here. And if you do that, then the responsive will stay.
I'll stay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And alternatively, say you wanted to do something different, you can use this block, and then if you know coding, you're able to do it as well here. And maybe I just talk a little bit about this actual basic editor block a little bit more. If you're used to using the broadcast function, it's the same keys that you can use here, but Sue, you can change font size here as well. The alignment, you've got button functionality as well. You can do quotes. You can find and replace. You can add a video here, embed the code there. You can input a table and sort out. So if you're laying out agendas, the table actually helps you so that you don't have a lot of that padding, and it keeps it within that block. And then you would put here and call it the agenda block. All right. Does that answer everybody's questions? All right. Remy, do you want to log in and draw the winner for today's contest?
Sorry, Glenda, I was just responding to Sue here in a little bit more detail in the chat. Just see here, give me a quick second.
So while I have everybody on here and Remy's just drawing the winner, I want to draw your attention to Town Crier, which is now housed on Members Village. When we come up with some articles that are going to be of benefit and value, we start to do our blogs. We're going to be doing a little bit more social media. If you guys give us permission, we'd like to showcase some of your great websites and some of the initiatives, and we would certainly include it here. But this is a good resource for you. So data that drives participation. So if you're looking at your database, if you want to organize your blogs, if you want to automate your emails, how to use tags, this is going to be your go-to source for all of that information, in addition to the videos that we will be updating because we've updated the interface. Oh, looks like it's the University of Ottawa. Do we have University of Ottawa on today? I believe it was Richard.
Richard was on. I believe he is off right now, and
Okay.
I don't believe France is here right now.
All right. Well, we will connect with Richard and Francis, and we will update you guys on what happens with their page makeover so you can see what we've done. If we have no other questions, don't forget to register for the future webinars. I hope you guys found this of value, and if you guys want more details or want something live demoed, please get in touch. Great to see you all. Thank you.